All right, welcome back. Before we took a break, Alex asked you to give me a statistic. You got that?
Yes, sir.
From Dr. Google?
Yeah.
What is it?
Cancer under 40 is on the rise. In the U.S., about 85,000 young people will be diagnosed this year alone. Breast, thyroid, testicular cancer, and melanoma top the list. While survival rates are high, around 86%, early detection is key. Lifestyle factors like diet, obesity, and pollution are fueling this surge. Awareness, screenings, and healthy habits have never been more important.
So, to summarize what you had just said, just for the viewers and the listeners, and I said it early on in the show, I'm in my circle, there's men that are being diagnosed with all forms of cancer. There are women that are being diagnosed younger. And I think, Alex, what you had said, this year alone, there's going to be over 85,000 young people diagnosed. Does it clarify young people? Like I'm young at 41. Is like under 40?
Under 40.
Yeah, so we'll just say that young is a mindset, but just from an age perspective, that's a ton. I don't know what it was 10 years ago or what it was 20 years ago, but it just seems like in today's world, and it may be because technology's better. I honestly don't know, but being diagnosed at 39, you really engage in mortality motivation, like we talked about with the girls, because growing up, you always thought like, well, no, that was you typically heard of people that were older, being diagnosed, and it takes us to 2024 after you receive the diagnosis. Everything's business as usual. Christmas, holidays, the new year comes.
Happy New Year.
Yep, Happy New Year. January 2nd is what that first day was.
In the chair.
And it was a long day.
It was a long day. And I did want to just clarify for people that want to know, I got those 4 drugs. So 2 of them were chemotherapy. And this was something that, again, you know nothing about cancer until you are forced to learn about it. And so I took the 2 chemo drugs were Taxotere and carboplatin. I think they call it carbo for short. So those were my chemo drugs. But then when you talk about the amazingness of science, I had these 2 immunotherapy drugs. One was called Herceptin, and mine, though, was Ogivri. It's, based on what your insurance is. So you either get Herceptin or Ogivri. And that was the one that could hurt my heart. It was also the one that could hurt my hearing, why I had a cardiologist and an audiologist. But it was a targeted therapy for my particular cancer. That HER2 positiveness of my cancer is why I received that. And then there was another immunotherapy drug called Perjeta that I took. I did not take it for my whole 6 sessions. It did a little more, which I can get into, but it did a little more damage than good, or the amount of good it could do did not outweigh the damage it was doing on my lifestyle, on us. So I started with these 4. And like I said, as they would give them to me, as they would be infused in, we had to wait 30 minutes. So yes, it was a long day. And so I was set up to take 6 rounds of chemotherapy for every 3 weeks. Well, it was a big year because we were turning 40. So who had hotel reservations and tickets, airline tickets to Las Vegas? But these 2 folks, because we have birthdays. Mine is February 24th and Raydodd's is 22nd. February 22nd. And we're exactly 2 days apart, so we always celebrate our birthdays together. It's
how sweet.
I know, we're so sweet. So we had this trip planned, and Another thing I love about my oncologist is she is all about quality of life. Yes, we're fighting cancer, but you still have to live.
You don't stop.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're still living. So, yes, if you have this planned, we're going to shuffle things around. You're just going to take a little time off. We'll bump your session, and I want you to go and do this thing. Now, our trip to Vegas was probably a lot different than maybe what we had originally envisioned, but it was still a lovely trip. We
Absolutely.
got to do a lot of fun things.
Got to see some shows, got to eat good food.
We did, and went for a heck of a walk. We
Vegas side.
exercised in Las Vegas.
But the moral of the story is you didn't stop.
We didn't
did
stop.
Yeah,
We didn't.
You went and
No.
enjoyed.
We
You went and
did.
made memories and
We
had an
did.
experience
Yes.
that will always be forever with you.
Yes. So that was, I had done 2 rounds of chemo, and then we went on our trip. And
Now, were you feeling any of the side effects from chemo on the trip?
So
Or did you have any side effects?
Right. So the thing that I didn't quite, you never understand it until you're in the middle of it. I kind of cycled through. I would have my chemo on a Tuesday. I get my shot on a Wednesday. By Thursday evening, I would start to feel a little
So bad. Yeah.
off. Yeah, bad. I did not have that bone, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a grit. Just a tension, and it just hurts. Everything hurts. It was not bad the whole time. And then I would come out, I would come out of kind of my chemo feelings, usually if I was lucky by like the following Thursday. Sometimes
say,
it would
yeah.
linger a little bit. And then again, things that they don't tell you, it compounds. So maybe the first time you come out pretty fast, but then the next time you've got more chemo in you. So it's going to take a little bit longer. And the next time it's
It
a little
builds.
bit longer.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
builds. And so I remember the first time I snapped out of it, I know it was a Thursday because we had gone to dinner with your parents on a Wednesday, and I was kind of muddling through. You don't have much of an appetite. It's hard to eat. For me, it was. I did have that metallic taste that I know people have talked about. I did not have it the whole time. I had it for a little while, and my tip for that was I used plastic utensils, and that helped me eat because, of course, metal silverware was hard, and so I figured out I could use plastic utensils, and that fixed that problem. And then it went away. I did not deal with that the whole time, but eating in itself was hard. And then in the back of your mind, you're also battling like, what did I put into my body that gave me cancer? Like, what did I do to myself that caused me to have cancer? Maybe I shouldn't have that, because what if that's what gave me cancer? And so you're battling, you need to feed yourself to fight, but then what did you eat?
That's where my brain went when I had Alex look up the statistic. Is like, why is it that it's on the rise? Is it the food that we're eating? Is it the water we're drinking? Outside of people's lifestyle choices, what is it that I am putting in my body that is creating this disease?
Well, and I want to say, I don't smoke. I am not a big drinker. I am maybe once every 2 months drinker. I mean, I am not a daily
and let's
drinker.
clarify drinker. I mean, I'm sure it's not like,
oh no, like a glass of Prosecco or something. I
Right.
mean, yes. So I didn't. Yes. So I did not have, and I was not. Momming had probably taken some of the exercise away from me, but I was
You were never obese.
right.
mean,
Yes.
so
You were always healthy.
Yes.
you were healthy. You are healthy. Let's just kind of put it
Well,
in
I'm
that.
I'm healthier,
Healthier.
now.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
healthier
healthier now.
now.
But as you're going through this process, you're questioning everything.
You question everything.
Yeah, you question everything.
My anxiety was like through the roof.
Was it really?
I was scared to get in, and Raydodd said he didn't know this. I guess I did not verbalize this. It scared me to get in a car. every time I got in the car, I thought we were all going to die.
Really?
And I talked through this kind of with my therapist, and she said it's because like you've realized how fragile life is. Like it's given you this realization that things can change in an instant. And so all of a sudden I was like, I don't know. My dad would drive me, to an appointment. I was just like holding on for dear life, but he was driving like he always drives. Or Raydodd would take us somewhere, and I was just like saying prayers the whole time. Please let us get there safely. And it was just this anxiety, this anxiousness.
Did you experience
vehicles.
anxiety in other parts of your life?
That was probably the one I remember the most because it's so different. I mean, we get in cars every day and we go places, and I don't think we have panic attacks, on our way to our destination.
Right.
So that one was very different. I don't know if I really had experiences that I can now. As I'm talking, I might remember something, but at the moment I don't.
Did you
remember other experiences?
Did you wrestle with death at all, like the thought of death?
Yes. Now I knew that I wasn't going to die. That the medicine that when I caught my cancer, the medicine that my treatment plan was going to cure me.
And we knew that very early on, in January.
I knew that. But it doesn't stop the effects that the medicine has on you, the places where your mind goes. It is reassuring, like I can fight my way through this, but also when you are in bed and you feel horrible, it's hard. I mean, every turn you cannot get comfortable. It's hard. I couldn't read books. Like when you look and you're like, oh, you're going to sit there for hours. I bet you want to. I mean, I cross stitch and I read.
Yeah, creativity and craft is your thing.
I couldn't focus to do those things. So I gave myself grace and I just vegged sometimes on Netflix, or I napped and I just let that be. I just kind of started just giving myself a pass. Like you don't have to read right now. You don't have to craft right now. You can be still. You can be a vegetable. I mean, like you can just watch this TV show. Mm-hmm. It's okay. And the same with eating. The only thing I could manage to put down was like chicken noodle soup. And my mom she would go and heat it up for me. And she was like, you've got to come and do you want me to bring it to you?
Yeah.
Do you want me to bring it to you? And so I'd always stock up on it before my chemo would start. Now the family, they were being brought meals. And so people would ask me, what do you want for your meal? I'm not going to eat it. Like,
didn't care.
I won't eat it, but ask Raydodd what he wants because him and the girls will eat this. My community took care of them because I was not going to be cooking. It was not a time for me to be thinking about meal planning. So they took care of them and y'all fed yourselves because eating was not number one priority. As I would come out of a session, my appetite would start to come back. Mm-hmm. So I would try to take advantage of that and just get some calories.
Did you lose weight?
In my like 15 pounds.
15 pounds.
Watch how much weight you were losing.
Yeah, like how did you as a woman deal with the change in your body?
Well, I had already made a really big change. I had kind of that year, since I had stopped working, I had said, this is my year, like to take care of myself. I'm tired of the baby weight, from having these two girls. I'm going to lose the baby weight and I'm going to get back to exercising. Mm-hmm. And so I had started exercising and I had lost how many pounds? Like 25 pounds.
Wow.
I'd lost like 25 pounds. So I was feeling great.
Yeah.
I was in a good healthy weight. And then this happens. And so I lost an additional like 15
so you lost
pounds.
40 pounds.
Yeah, it was
25
It was a lot.
You didn't
from
have
exercise.
another 15 to
Yeah,
lose.
it was a lot. But one of my, just being real, this Progetta, the one that we realized was not, I only took it maybe 3 rounds of
3
it,
rounds,
maybe
yeah.
3 rounds of it. Its side effect that was lasting was diarrhea. And so when you say you got to eat calories just to get some calories, I mean, really, because anything that was coming in was going out. And so that was a lifestyle problem and just, a health problem. We went to Vegas, come back, and we did my 3rd round of chemo. And do you want to tell your story for this?
You can tell. I'll fill in.
Okay. So, let's see. What night? Well, did I write this down? I had to think about it. It was we had just gotten back from Las Vegas because it was
yes.
okay. So this was February 29th. So we're still at the beginning of the year, but we've done a lot already. We've had 3 chemo rounds.
Right.
It's the beginning of the year or end of February.
I think it was a Friday. Or Thursday night.
It was a Thursday night. So I've had chemo, I've gotten my bone shot, and it's Thursday night when I start to feel bad. And I get up in the middle of the night to go use the restroom. And
so then I'm in bed and I just hear a thud. And I'm like, well, that's strange. So I get up and I wear contacts, and I can't see real well. So I come in there. She's on the floor. Blood's coming out of her head. And she's just completely unconscious. And I kind of just tap her head and nothing.
Like how much blood?
Like a little pool of
Enough to be like
enough that
my wife's bleeding on the floor.
Yes, enough
like
for
she
me
cracked
to
her head open.
Yes, enough for
and
me
you just
to
tapped her on the head.
oh, just wait.
so I'm like, Emily, like wake up and like nothing.
But you didn't freak out. You were.
Oh, Raydodd thought I was dead.
So
okay.
He thinks I am dead.
So I like kind of tap her just lightly because. And
so I'm visualizing this is that you're like.
Well,
you're like rubbing the sleep out of your eyes. Like, hey, wake up.
So you it is the middle of the night. You wake up and you go in and you're like, and it's like you're having a snap too. Also, I can't see real well. So I'm like having to get down. I'm like, oh,
poor Raydodd.
I'm like, so there's
poor guy.
There's blood. I was like, okay, this is. I'm like tapping, nothing. So then I literally slap her pretty hard. I'm like, wake up, and nothing. And so at this point I'm like, is she dead? Like honestly thought like, is she dead? So her dad was there. So I ran upstairs because they were up in the.
You got me to come too, didn't you?
No, not until.
But you had passed out.
You had passed out hard, and then I'd gone up and yelled for your dad. I was like, Stanley, come down. So he came down. Like he was startled. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I don't know what time, but middle of the night. And then I come back down, and then you start to come to, and I'm like, okay. So then get your head cleaned up. I mean, it was just a little scratch, but you bleed a lot out of your head.
There was a corner, like in, I guess, the water room or whatever. Or,
water closet.
Yeah. And that I had hit the corner just perfectly on my eyebrow. And so as I was passing out, I hit this corner and I fell. And what we realized, and I was not coherent. I mean, I did not understand what was happening. I was very incoherent. What we realized later was that my blood pressure is like super low. I run low to begin with. And so what was happening was I would urinate out all my basically all my fluids, and my blood pressure would just drop completely.
And that's what happened, and then boom, you passed out.
I remember a wave of nausea.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody, what happened? And I recount the story and I was like, I remember experiencing like this wave of nausea. And then that was it. That was the last thing I remember.
All that to say, thank God he was home or someone was with you. Yeah.
Let's say, thank God that my parents were at our house
Agreed.
too, because we were able just to leave and go to the emergency room and know that our daughters were taken care of. And I mean, I was vomiting and I was not in a good place. It was bad.
You were very sick.
I was very sick. So we make our way to the emergency room. And of course, they see that you are a cancer patient. And so they immediately were like, we know you're receiving chemo treatment right now. We're going to, because you hear about emergency rooms and that they're the biggest.
They're the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be in there.
You don't want to be
That's
there.
not a plug for the show, but that's,
Yeah.
I've never actually heard it called the pit until it became a show.
But you don't want to be there. And so they were kind and said, we see that you're receiving chemo treatments. We're going to get you in a room, as quickly as possible, which they did.
You got through quick.
And they will not access your port because your port belongs to your cancer center.
To Carti.
Yeah. So they were like...
Well, also ERs, they said, are dirty.
Are filthy. So they were like, we don't want to access your port because there are germs everywhere. So they hooked me up with some IV fluids. They run my blood work. They talked to Dr. Wilder because I believe she was the one on call that night.
Right.
So the ER doc talks to her and they glued my eyebrow back, which I was so worried about because I didn't want to have a big old scar on my face. But it was fine. It was right on my eyebrow line. So even if I have a scar, you really can't see it. But it was a night. And of course, then I go see Dr. Wilder, I think, or they all were like, oh, we hear you had, because the weekend was coming up. So we just had to make it through the weekend. And from there, it was what tools do we need so that this doesn't happen again? What do we need to set up? What processes can we put in place so that I can finish out and make it through these final 3 rounds of chemo? So, the goal was to up to keep my blood pressure up. So salt, you need to eat more salt, Gatorade, compression socks, partner, going to the bathroom with a partner.
Yeah. So we got to go to the bathroom together for a couple months.
Yeah. So it was just, because it happened again, but it wasn't as scary. You were with me.
But I was in there and I caught you.
And the wave of nausea hit me again. But this time I knew once I felt that I needed to sit. Like I went down to the floor so that I wouldn't.
Grabbed you, as you were going down.
Right.
Yeah. But luckily I was in there with her and so we went to the bathroom together. It was, you grow closer.
All that to say, Dr. Wilder looks and she's like.
Yes, you do. It's
yeah.
Dr. Wilder was like, I think that Progetta, I believe it only gave about a 4% help, right? Well, I would say it was
very little.
So they pulled you off.
So she pulled me off the Progetta because I was losing a lot of fluids through it. It was causing me to lose a lot of fluids. My final round of chemo on April 30th was. Funny enough, it was probably one of my best because I did not have to get that the bone marrow shot because I wasn't having another chemo that I would have to get ready for. So I didn't have to have that. And I was already off of the Progetta. So I actually came out of it probably faster than most.
Mm-hmm.
So April 30th,
I finished chemo.
Almost a year ago. Was that the last round of chemo for 2024?
Yeah, it's almost a year.
It's almost a year
today.
Yeah. So was that the last round of chemo in 2024?
Yes.
So yes, but just wait.
But that's where the the story takes a turn.
There's more. No, we plugged through it. The turn. There were turns because you never know what's. Not that you never know what's next, but there's just so many steps.
Chemo is just a step.
Yeah.
Chemo is just one tiny step.
Well, I'm trying to compartmentalize it in my mind because I started getting to know him at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
And we had went on a run, and I don't know when that run was. Raydodd, you had said, "Hey, I'd put it out there."
That was more.
Is that summertime?
No, that was like March.
Okay, so
We were in the midst of all the chemos when we went for when I was.
That's what I thought. So
Yeah.
this was me first getting to know him in a deeper way, and I'm going to say he's one of my favorite people on this planet. And I put out there like, "Hey, I'm going to go for a run." This guy says, "Well, I'll go for a run with you." I was like, "Okay, I'll run with Raydodd. Want to get to know him, get to connect." And anyway, we ran to the Capitol and came back, and it was halfway through. He had, he was dealing with his own subset of emotions, and that's what these runs are for. And I remember stopping him midway and giving him a tune-up in a good, healthy way. Like it was just really good conversation. So I was just attempting to compartmentalize the timeline of when all this was
all during the
was happening.
Yeah.
During the middle of chemo.
Which in itself was a bit of a rough point. Like you were starting this new program.
Well, it was more like about what he was talking about, like work, and he was
during that run. That was more work, and all this stuff was going. Was happening, and I had always prided myself on being responsive to customers, being able to.
That's what it was. Yeah.
To help them, whenever
you felt you weren't living up to your responsibility.
Correct. And I was really worried that because production was ramping up, and in a production role, you start spinning that wheel, and
I know.
Then that's when you start producing. When you stop that wheel, it's real hard to get that wheel
to spin
rolling again. And I was getting really worried that I was falling down on the job and not keeping the wheel rolling. And that's when we talked about like, well, have you told your customers kind of what's going on? And I was like, well, no, not really. He's like, well, maybe you should. And that's when I started.
Well, and I remember stopping you at one point and saying, Raydodd, have you ever like failed to the point where your family couldn't eat or you didn't have a home to go to? No. And you're like, no. I'm like, then why the hell are you going to start now? Yeah. Like your wife is giving you the ultimate reason to continue. And it goes back to like when you go through something like that as a couple, overwhelm, it really, really has an impact on people. And certain people know how to deal with stress. They deal with it in different ways. But what I typically see, and just the men I mentor and coach and just in myself, is like when you're playing a game of 1,000 switches, as y'all were last year, business as usual. That was like your ethos. We're going to continue to make memories, experiences, go through all this. That this is foreign, uncharted territory for us. Overwhelm does have an impact on you in the home as a professional, and sometimes you just have to take a couple steps back. And I think you said it really well earlier. You're like, I'm going to give myself permission to take a time out.
Yeah.
And not always be doing and going. Yes. And it's really during those recovery moments that you get an opportunity to reflect. And that's where you grow the most.
And, I did not start to see my therapist until after chemo.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I was set up with her.
And good for you for going.
Well, thank you to Carti again.
Is that a requirement, or is that something that they're just advocating, saying?
If I don't know if you had to ask or if they would have suggested it if I had seemed to be needing it, but it was just something we had kind of talked about. I said, I wonder if this would be helpful to do. But I did not start to see her until I had completed chemo. And she said, yeah, she was like, chemo is chemo. You are just surviving. You don't need to be, it's not a time to be digging in and trying to figure things out. She was like, you just need to survive. You just
Your
have
mission
to survive
is to get from one treatment to the
next. And do what you have to do. Put the food into your mouth, get your calories.
It's compartmentalization in the moment.
Yes. Now, in the midst of chemo, business as usual, we have a March birthday. our oldest, her birthday is in March. So here I am looking at the calendar and I've got chemo here and I'm like, okay, I've got this many weeks. And so this weekend, we're going to do it the weekend before her birthday because that's the weekend before my treatment. And so I'll be feeling the best. So we schedule that birthday party and then I go flip to April where daughter number 2 has her birthday and I do the same. I'm like, okay, it's on this day, which weekend I'll have chemo this time and I'll be feeling the best. And so it was a lot of puzzle pieces and planning, which planning is my favorite. I love planning.
Nice.
But that was
my wife's favorite too.
It was a requirement to make those things happen. And yes, I am not the most advanced. I don't always get things. I like to do things at the last minute sometimes, but I definitely had to have those things ready to queue up earlier because I knew I wouldn't be necessarily feeling my best.
Well, just to relate, those chairs you're sitting in, I just put those together yesterday. But the birthday, great birthday.
Yeah. Evelyn Ann said it was her favorite birthday party she'd ever had.
There we go.
So, we were doing something right.
But you get through April.
Yes.
You get through April.
We get through April. I get to ring.
You get to ring the bell?
I rang the bell in April and had family, friends, my little
band group.
My support group. They came, and so I rang that bell because I asked Dr. Wilder if I could. She said, "Well, usually we don't do it till the very end, but you know what? If you want to ring that bell," she said, "Ring that bell."
Ring the bell.
So she wrote it in my thing that I could ring. She put it in the doctor's orders that I could ring the bell. So I rang the bell on April 30th for my 6 chemo treatments. Well, guess what? I wasn't finished. I had to keep getting infusions every 3 weeks.
Did you know that? Or was it at the very end?
I think they they kind of, it's like need to know. And so they explained that it's just, you just don't understand. Sometimes you look back and you're like, oh yeah, they told me that. I just didn't quite understand what they were saying.
I could see it being, you're giving a lot of information, going back to overwhelm, but also it's very, I would imagine this is very challenging on the medical team in a way to set appropriate expectations to where it's clear.
Yes.
Because when an incorrect expectation is set or misunderstood, there becomes disappointment.
Yes.
So like you get to the end and it's almost like a false summit.
Yes.
You ring the bell, then it's like, oh, well, by the way, the summit's over there.
I knew I wasn't finished. I knew I wasn't finished because she had told me that I was going to be getting these immunotherapy treatments for the entire year. So I knew that I wasn't finished. But for me, I needed the milestone of chemo to ring that bell and say,
But the immunotherapy, talk about it didn't have near the side effects.
So the immunotherapy are the same drug. At that point, since we had gotten rid of the Perjeta, it was just going to be the Ogivary or the Herceptin that some people would be more familiar with. And it was just more... Yes, it did not have the side effects. Now, internal side effects, like I said, hearing, heart problems. So I'm still being monitored by my cardiologist for the whole year because there were bad things that could happen by taking it. But it was, so I would go in and have an infusion every 3 weeks, but I could drive myself to those. I kind of looked at it as my calendar time. I would watch a show, work on my calendar, say a prayer, it was just kind of quiet me time. I didn't need anybody to take me to those appointments unless we were seeing Dr. Wilder. You would come on those mornings that we would see her. Or maybe, did we still see her we would still see her every time. So you would come in the morning and see her.
And then you would I'd wait until you got set up in the infusion room.
And then he'd bounce. Yeah. And I would have my quiet time.
Yeah. But it was not near like chemo.
No.
How big of a boost though was it when you kind of got to that part of the journey?
Well, it's great. And then your hair starts to slowly grow back.
Body's amazing.
And so that was April 30th, and we had a Disney cruise scheduled for June.
The 1st of June.
Was it June or no? The end of June. The end of June. Yeah, we had a Disney cruise scheduled for the end of June because why not? We deserved it.
I think we had already had that.
We did.
That had already been scheduled because
And did you go on the cruise?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. So
all
like nothing
four of
came
us.
up to where you had to push it off.
Dr. Wilder would have counted my weeks, and if we needed to push something, she would have pushed it. But it was also kind of our last hurrah because I was scheduled to have my bilateral, or what people commonly say, double mastectomy
Okay. I was gonna
in
ask.
July.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was scheduled for July. And so we cruised, and you know, my trip planner, she's done Disney trips for me in the past. She said, "Isn't this so good that y'all decided to go on this cruise?" She said, "I don't know if you would have made it, like, you know, the heat of doing Disney World, the energy
Yeah,
that
right.
you would have needed."
Yeah.
Because remember, I mean, I just finished in April, so my energy
That would have been a
is
crucible
not,
for you.
You know, my energy is not there. And I will say, during chemo, that was something Dr. Wilder kept saying. She said, "You've got to. You're not going to have the same amount of energy."
Mm-hmm.
And I did, like I told you, I would sit, but I also remember, you know, I'd take the girls to the park. I was with my parents, and normally I'd probably be lapping, you know, doing laps around the park or whatever. And I was like, I'm just going to sit on this bench and watch. I'm just going to, you know, rest
You said
my
something,
body.
though, that, and Alex, I want you to look this up. The revenue that the energy drink industry generates on a yearly basis, because people underestimate energy, like your focus, your ability to get up and go, and also the importance of preserving it. Like that's why there's a massive energy drink industry that people are always trying to grab onto. But you mustered the energy and y'all went to the Disney cruise, and I think it was. I've heard the cruises are incredible.
amazing.
Yeah, the girls had a blast, and you had a blast.
They
And
loved it.
They saw every character, and then it was the ship was actually small, pretty. I mean, compared to other cruises,
like
it was
large cruise
relatively
ships. I've never been
smaller.
on a cruise, but
And the girls, they
perfect for us.
would walk
Good.
around. They knew where the room was, and they had room keys. And
We did a rainforest pass so we could go to the spa, the two of us. So we spent a lot. It was a good time for us to spend time together. But not to sugarcoat it completely. You know, I struggled that whole time because my hair had not grown back. It was, how do I do this whole swim thing?
yeah,
Being bald and not wanting to wear my wig. And so there were struggles, you know, of figuring things out, not being totally happy with me yet, not having eyebrows and things.
and the reason why I wanted to have you two on the show is that I think that because cancer is so prevalent, like you kind of, a lot of people, including myself, kind of say, "Oh my goodness, they've been diagnosed," and well, that's just another diagnosis. It's become kind of, I hate to say it, normalized because of how it's out there. But you don't know, like a mother who's in the pool, you don't know what's going on behind her eyes, is saying like, "Oh my God, I don't know if I can really do this." But my daughters, they all they want to do is play and splash around.
Sure.
And I just want to do it with them.
Yeah. Yes.
Alex, what was that statistic?
In 2025, the global energy drink market is projected to generate approximately $83.6 billion, with the U.S. contributing around $19.6 billion.
$83 billion in the global energy drink market. That's insane. It's insane. It's insane in the fact that you're on a cruise, and then come July, and where I'm going with that is that you had a deep why to keep pulling you forward.
Oh, yes.
You had a mission. You compartmentalized the mission. It was business as usual. You two had an incredible bond. Sure, you're going through your stuff, but you're watching her, so there's your why.
Right.
Your daughters are your why. And it becomes very evident during a process like this how much we take for granted our energy, like
Oh, sure.
and
Yes.
the rest, the recovery, not getting good sleep. You had the story where, of course, Raydodd's in the middle of the night and you're on waking up trying to figure out why she's on the bathroom floor. How did you, going into July, coming off of the cruise, muster up another just incredible amount of energy to say, all right, we got to do this, knowing what you've just been through? Because most people are they're depleted and defeated at that point. Like, so kind of, can you walk me and the viewers through that? Or was it just
this
one
was
like
hard? You know, I cried a lot about this. Right? Wouldn't you say the month of June was sad?
The month of
Kind
June
of.
was sad because you knew what was happening. You were having,
And that's why I asked.
Yeah.
your body
It
was
was sad.
going to be drastically changed.
And that's why I'm asking.
And from my perspective, there's not a
Well, because you
comparison I
don't-
could have.
You know, the thing about it is you don't feel real great. And so it's not like
That's why I'm bringing
it's
it
not
up.
like you're feeling great about your or you know, like you can't like take advantage of your great body or whatever. I mean,
Right.
because you don't feel great, but you know that you're about to like lose this part of you, and it's just that. And at that point, I am seeing my therapist, and so she was great about giving me different options, like because I was about what was about to happen and how to deal with that. And let me back up and just explain, because some people were like, why did you get a double mastectomy? Like, why is that your path of treatment? So I had in my left breast, I had the 2 tumors, and Dr. Steve, being the great doctor, he felt like since my breast tissue was dense, which you hear about young women and their dense breast
Ashes
tissue,
is very dense.
he felt like it would not be out of the question to have a breast MRI in addition to everything else. So I did before I started chemo. So this is still in that quick little window in December. I went and had a breast MRI. And so after Dr. Fant, my surgical oncologist, after she saw the results of that breast MRI, besides those 2 large masses, there were some small little spots in other quadrants of my breast. And so that was the go ahead, like, we have to get rid of that entire breast. And her being her, who I love, some people might not, she said, well, let's just make them match, you know, at the point we're doing one, let's just make them match. You are young. I don't want to do this again. Like, I don't want you to be back here. I don't want to have to go through this again. And so for me, it was never let's get rid of one and salvage the other. I was on board with her. Let's just do this thing. Let's do everything I can do now so that we're not doing this again down the road.
But that takes a tremendous amount of grit and soul searching to be able to say, okay, yes, let's go forward with this, knowing what you had just went through.
But now Dr. Fant is talking. We are seeing her throughout. Well, we saw her once at the beginning before chemo started, and then she said, "I'm going to talk back with you in May." So I saw her, again in May.
So maybe I'm getting things out of order.
No. I mean, it's odd because you see her and she tells you kind of what the plan is, and I guess Dr. Wilder knew what the plan was.
Right.
And so you know what the plan is, but then it's like it's not like I was seeing Dr. Fant every month. You know, she tells me this one thing, and then we don't talk back about it again until May. And see, I needed a plastic surgeon too, which that in itself is a decision that many women choose to do different things. There are women that choose to go flat, have no reconstruction whatsoever. There are women that choose to do expanders. So they would have the mastectomy and then they would have expanders put in, usually because they're going to have radiation following. Well, I wrestled
You
wrestled with
wrestled with
this
that,
a
yeah.
lot because my plan, and this was the plan that Dr. Fant suggested, was to do the mastectomy and the reconstruction. It
All
would
at
be
the same time?
all at the same time. So she would go in and do her part, and then
the
my plastic surgeon would come in and do his. Well, the research shows, Dr. Google, thank you, that sometimes women are not super happy with their breast implants after radiation. And I just I think that was the thing that I probably should have let go of. But
Because
I
they talk about hardening.
they talk about your implant will harden. The radiation will cause the implant to harden. And my biggest hope was, maybe I won't have to have the radiation. Yeah, they've told me I'm going, that I'm going to need it, but maybe I won't have to have
holding
it.
out with hope.
And everything
Yeah.
will be just fine, and I won't need it. Or I can talk them out of it, maybe I can talk them out of it. That, look at me, I'm fine. I don't really need the radiation. But talked again with Dr. Fant, and she said, I think you're going to be happiest with this outcome. I think this will be your, the best bet, essentially. Right. And so we had the surgery scheduled. We were going to take the girls to camp in July. They were going to go off to Camp Winnemucca, where they love to go.
Yeah.
And
my kids have been there.
And then I was going to have the surgery on like that Monday, I think.
Right.
I get a call, and my surgeon's nurse, she said, Dr. Fant can't do that surgery on Monday, but she can do it on that following Thursday. How would that go? I said, it'll be perfect. It's July 11th. It's our anniversary. So I said, be perfect. Why not?
15th anniversary.
Why not?
So timeline, I remember him coming to train with me on July 4th.
Okay.
So that's all happening at the same time.
Yes. That was a hell of a morning.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there was a hell of a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
And that was a day I needed, because 4 hours?
It was pretty, it was pretty intense. But
I pushed myself to my absolute limit. And that was, so all this was going on
at the same time.
At that same time.
But so July 11th comes, and here you are back again in the operating room.
Yes. Now there's a few things I do want to mention before we get all into this. I did have wonderful friends that celebrated my chemo accomplishment. So we did have a party. Was it in maybe May? I think we had a no mo chemo party, no mo chemo party, and that was fun. And just things like that. My friends, family were with me every evolution that I've completed. They've been there and they've celebrated it with me. So I rang the bell. We had this party. I had friends come from all the way from Omaha, that came.
We learned how to savor champagne bottles.
And celebrate with me. So
I've done that before. There is a little bit of an art to it.
I'm very good at it.
That's awesome.
Very good at it. So having these celebrations, friends, support. So coming into my double mastectomy, my wonderful group, my small group, they had gifted me some things at this party, things that I had no idea that I would even need. I mean, yes, I researched but they had researched on their own to take care of me, and they had gifted me a hoodie with drain pockets, and
I guess explain that.
Well, after your mastectomy, you have drains.
You have tubes coming out.
You have tubes coming out of your body, out of your body.
You look. You have, from what I understand, and I've honestly seen, is that it's a lot to take in if you're a child or
sure, yeah. Oh, yeah.
husband.
I was about to say, just for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're
As
like,
a husband.
oh, that was like in your side.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
I mean,
a
it's
lot.
like
You gotta,
coming
you
out.
gotta
There's a lot.
strip the tubes, and you're
Yep.
measuring.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
You have to measure the fluid to
So
the
they got
doctor's.
you that-
So they had me my hoodie that I would need to, move around the house. They gifted me with some mastectomy bras that I could have that, to dig into as a reserve, things to use. Then I had a friend, one of our oldest daughter's close friend, her mom was ahead of me in her cancer journey. And so she sent a sack full of things that had helped her. And we talked on the phone, at length of what to expect and, how to navigate this. And I would say that to reach out
to someone further
to
down the
someone.
path. Yeah.
Yes, reach out to someone that's, again, like you said, it's so common. You're going to know someone. And
Everybody's been touched by cancer in some form, some fashion. I think a lot of people struggle in silence.
Yeah.
And they're
Don't.
so scared to even if they're at Cortai or any other cancer treatment center to kind of, you see someone, I don't know, in another bay and you're just like, I'm going to let them be, they're going through their own thing, to where if you just maybe ask like, hey, what are you going through? And are there any tips for me?
I know.
Like
That's all we're looking for, is some tips.
if we're going
I
to be
know.
here at the same time, let's help one another. But so
Right.
many people are scared to ask.
Right. Well, this friend's mom, she
was a godsend.
She was, and kind of walked me through what I would be going through and how she navigated it. And again, she dropped these things off, and I don't think I would have been able to shower if it hadn't have been for her. She gave me
the
that
thing that gives
shower
you-
belt.
the
I
shower
know,
belt that
I
holds the
know.
And
little-
she went
Things you
through the
don't
same
think-
thing you went through.
Yeah.
Her cancer was different.
Yeah.
But
Meaning
part,
like
I know,
similar
but part of
experience,
her
right?
treatment was the having a bilateral.
How long was the recovery
mastectomy.
after the surgery?
So it was like six
weeks.
weeks. And the thing about it is, it's unlike any other, I would say, recovery that I've ever experienced before, because my plastic surgeon, who is David Bauer, by the way, Dr. David Bauer with Arkansas Plastic Surgery, he was very kind. I mean, helpful, wanted a good outcome. I mean, he's
Absolutely.
all about just a good outcome, wanted me to be happy with the surgery. But his whole thing was the way the implants were going to work, which is interesting. You don't get to pick your implants. This is not a boob job, and don't ever call it a boob job. Like, you get new boobs. You're so lucky. There's nothing about this that's lucky or that's cute or funny. Because I've lost a part of me. A boob job is a boob job. Like, you don't lose a part of yourself.
Right.
But I've lost a part of myself off my body, and they have done the best that they can to give me back maybe what I've lost. But what he does is he picks the implants while I'm on the table and I'm out. So he does what's been left.
You have no clue what you're going to wake up
I have no
to.
clue what I'm going to wake up to.
He
No.
doesn't know
He doesn't know. So
because-
he's got a wide variety of choices because he doesn't know what my situation's going to be after Dr. Fant finishes
so as Dr.
her
Fant
part.
finishes her part, he then comes in and says, okay, based upon experience,
Yeah,
we're
this
going to
is-
go with this.
I think
And
it's
then
ba-
you wake up.
He says he told me he is doing a arts and crafts project. It's an arts and crafts project because he has this tissue. It's like cadaver made tissue that he has to wrap around the implant, and that is what will take to my chest wall.
That's why you can't move, because
Right.
you want the tissue
So
to grow.
part of my recovery is not to move. Like, don't get in a car because I don't want you bouncing at all. Don't walk around very much because I don't want anything to
I'm
move.
certain that they put the band
Oh
around
yeah,
you.
you're bound.
You're secured.
You have to be
You're
bound.
secured.
But like he doesn't want any extra movement. So he said, "Don't go to church. Don't go to the
Right.
movies. Don't go to."
Like you're in 6 weeks of
where- he's
isolation in a lot of ways.
Yes. So he's like, you've got to sit and be just as gentle as you can because we need these things to take. You know, like you need to give them time to take to your body.
So you've been through chemo at this point.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing immunotherapy at the same time. Mm-hmm.
You had a surgery already. You lost your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you lost another part of your body. I mean, I'd like to pause there and just kind of unpack that a little bit more. I mean, emotionally, that had to be just.
It was sad.
It was tough. What about you, for you too, Raydodd? I mean, that's for it. Just if we're being real, like from a man's perspective too, like you've seen your wife go through this transformation. I'm by choice, by the way. Like
I am angry through a lot of it, but I mean, I will. You talk about us training, and yes, I started with the School of Man there at the beginning of January, and I think that was my outlet to do that. I'd never worked out before, and I mean, yes, I'd go for walks, but nothing like what we do. But I needed that, and I needed to be around men that I could open up and talk about, and that was helpful. I mean, Emily had her band group, and yes, I had my friends. We've got Sunday school, but I mean, nothing is like what has been created at Psalm. And then just as these things were going on, I would get angry, and I needed, I guess the proverbial like punching the brick wall, and I needed something like that, and that's what I was able to get, and so and it was a lot of this, and just watching her and everything she's going through, and I guess we talk about like choosing your hard, like she's having all these hard things that she's not getting to choose. I guess it was liberating that I was able to choose to do hard things, but also I was just angry and needed an outlet. And through that, like she wasn't able to drink, and I did not drink. And I think that was really good because
I was about to say that's a good thing.
I could see where I could have easily become an alcoholic, where it's just a few drinks here, a few drinks there, and that's just going to take you down a bad mental health hole. And I didn't need that. And
think about all of the things that you two went to get through in just a short amount of time, like starting from December.
Because we're just in July.
Yeah, you're just in July. Hey, Alex, one more thing. Sorry, but ask Dr. Google the substance abuse rate in our country in adults, alcohol in particular. But, you come out on the other side of this, not knowing what
it's going to be. Sure.
We're happy, sad, angry, like.
So there's a lot of things that I didn't know going into it once I came out of it, because I've said I'd be totally honest. You lose your, what do I lose?
What?
Sensitivity. I don't have,
you can't feel?
I'm numb. I can't feel. My chest, my breast.
You couldn't feel that
across,
tissue.
So my skin that they saved across my chest.
I see what you're saying. So you couldn't feel.
I have no feeling. Yes. So, I mean, I can feel, and it does. Dr. Fant said that she is noticing some patients, it comes back, well, not comes back, but they get a little more sensitivity as time goes on, because I guess your nerves are forming new pathways and connections. But like everything was cut away, everything's chopped. So there are no paths of nerves. I had some issues. I have numbness under my under my right armpit, which is funny. But Dr. Fant said that was from the scar tissue from that tumor that I had pulled out when I was 22 years old. She said when she went in, she said there was a lot of scar tissue from that tumor. And so she feels like possibly some of it may have kind of messed with my nerves under my right armpit. So yes, shaving my armpits has been very interesting activity.
She can't feel it.
Because I can't feel anything. But it's coming back. It is coming back. And she did tell me that would come back. But just not being numb, that numbness and not knowing, oh, like this skin, it's just skin, like there are no.
How did the
nerves
girls react to it?
We were real honest.
Tell how honest you are.
Yeah. I said, mommy's had this done. And I said, and this is what mommy looks like. And so we sat them down and I showed them what it looked like, because it does not look like a normal woman's chest now. It looks very different. And so I didn't want them to walk in on me, because we're a pretty open household. So I didn't want them to walk in on me and see it without being prepared. So I wanted them to know that this is what mommy looks like now.
Do you have any, as a mother who's gone through breast cancer, for you having two girls, I mean, this is going to, of course, change how they look at their own health, hopefully, as they get older. So I think it's very wise that you've been very open with it, with them being even at their age.
I can't remember if I mentioned it, but genetic testing was also part of kind of Carti's protocol.
Touched on it,
so I had the genetic testing done, at the direction of my oncologist, and I had no genetic markers. We had some things that came back a little odd, so they went in and kind of did some more testing, but it all ended up coming back negative. So I didn't have any genetic markers, but because of my history, the girls will now start being monitored at age 29. So it's 10 years before their mother. They will be.
Is there why? Like they can't be monitored earlier than that?
I mean, I will have.
And I don't know.
Will have health.
I don't know what monitoring looks like. So
and
I'm just
don't
asking.
Exactly know either. I was like, does that mean they get like a mammogram?
That's what
But I think that is a discussion they'll have with their doctor, but kind of the directive I was given was they will need to start being monitored
one thing this
at
will
29.
do, I hope, and I'm almost certain that it will do, is they're going to take their health very seriously.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, which a lot of people in their 20s don't, because they feel like they're invincible.
Sure.
Unless something, of course, pops up like when you're 22. But you get past the 6 weeks and
and
is it home free at that point? Or are you still,
No.
you still dealing with
no. So,
just everything that's gone on?
So let's see. We celebrate our wedding anniversary. Yes. Make it through the 6 weeks.
Yes.
And then I guess they gave me recovery time. And in the middle or at near the end of those 6 weeks, I went and met with the radiation oncologist at Carti. And the one I was set up with was Dr. Morgan. And, I'm pleading with Dr. Morgan, are you sure? Are you sure I need to get radiation? Are you sure?
So you're having to go through another round of treatment.
Yeah, we're not finished. And I'm still doing immunotherapy. So I go in and I'm still getting those infusions every 3 weeks with this Herceptin or Ogivary that I was getting. So thank gosh for my port. I mean, I'm being stuck and getting blood work drawn and everything. But they do it all out of your port. So I'm never being stuck in my arm. It is a God thing, do the port. Because I'm being stuck this whole time. So I see him and he said, based on the recommendation, because it was in my lymph nodes, I need to get radiation. Also because of my age, he wants to radiate me up my collarbone. So my area is a lot larger of a radiated area because he wants to cover everything because of my age. So I get 25 rounds of radiation starting on September 4th. So we started that. And radiation is every day. except on the weekends. And
We skipped one day.
we skipped a day because we went to a wedding.
We did.
Quality of life. We traveled for a wedding. And so, but it's every day. And my precious friends, one of them made, and I was like, oh, I wish I had, a board or something so I could keep track of these, because I was taking a picture of myself, because I'm also changing at the time. My hair's starting to come back. My eyebrows are coming back a little bit. Like I'm feeling more like myself, like I am getting
Have a little
back.
bit more pep in your step.
Yes, absolutely. And
Energy's coming back.
So radiation is interesting because I knew nothing about it. I went in for a mapping appointment. And so a nice tech, she lays you out and you're all laid out. And so she lays you out, draws on you. She also made me my pillow, my nice little pillow, which was... It was really cool how she did it, but it's like, I don't know, foam, and then she sucks all the air out of it, and so it compacts and molds to my position that I need to be in every time I lay down on the radiation table. Also, because I'm so lucky, fortunate, my radiation is on the left side of my body, so they need to do everything they can to protect my heart again. So I have to hold my breath during my radiation treatments. So I have to practice that. I get really good at holding my breath. And she practiced that with me, kind of let me know what it was going to be like. And because the thought is, you expand your lungs and it gives you more of a buffer between the radiation and your heart. That's the whole idea of holding your breath. So I did the radiation mapping. I've got marks all over me, I guess, to help them line up everything. And then the radiation started on September 4th. Car tie, like they do everything wonderfully. I've kind of called them the Disney World of cancer treatments, I feel like, because they made it easy. I said hi to the women at the check-in desk. They buzzed me back immediately. They have gowns set up where I just grab my gown on my own. They have restrooms, changing rooms, lockers, so I can put my stuff in a locker. I go get changed, put a gown on. I only have to undress from the waist up, so that makes it easy. I always wear my leggings and my T-shirts just so I'm like comfortable, warm. I don't want to be
Carti
cold.
just specializes in cancer, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
It's a
It's
cancer.
a center of excellence for cancer.
Right.
They have their waiting room back there set up where they have the women on one side and the men on the other because we're all sitting back there in our gowns, waiting. Got my little wrist key on from my locker. And then they'll call over the intercom to call me back to my vault. So I think they have like 3 vaults. And it is a vault. And I told Raydodd,
Because of the radiation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, this is
Just
this is
wild.
serious.
Yeah,
It's
that's
wild.
wild.
Yeah, it's serious. So they call you back. I was in vault number 1 with a wonderful crew of women who were my radiation techs. They were just so, I don't know, loving, upbeat, positive, cheerleaders just to get me through. My sessions were just a tad bit longer than a normal session because of the breathing that they would have to instruct me through. But each session was only about 15 minutes long. So from, car to, or parking lot back to my car would be about, on a good day, 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
On a maybe not great day, maybe an hour 15, just depending on how quickly
That
they
was
could
the
get
total
me.
trip.
The total trip. Yeah. So not bad, but it's every day. And I went at the same time every day and laid in the same position every day. And they'd put that warm blanket on me and I had to have my arms above my head. And I would it was my time of prayer and reflection and listening to them and counting. I did a lot of counting because I would know how many seconds each breath was going to be. And so it was a thing. I don't know, to do something 25 times in a row, like it was, I don't know.
It got exhausting.
It was
at some
exhausting.
Point. Yeah.
But it was also exciting. I mean, once I flipped to those single digits. So I had a friend, back to keeping up with one of my small group members. She made me this lovely little flip book that had all my numbers on it. So I could flip it to the number and take a picture. And I just kept that in my purse. And I could flip it to my new,
It's the micro goals.
Yes,
it's the seeing the check marks for me
absolutely.
and seeing the numbers go down. And you know that you're on the back end of it. It becomes motivating. It's like seeing the sunrise when you've been up through the night. I
tried to be proactive with taking care of my skin. So you use Aquaphor is kind of what they recommend initially, like to use. I did not realize that the radiation was, I guess I should have known this, but it traveled through my body. And I had a really bad sunburn, a radiation burn on the back top of my shoulder because it was going through my collarbone. And I did not pre-treat it because I didn't even know that was going to be an issue. So that was my worst spot, I would say. But I lotioned up and I tried to take care of my skin the best I could. And I'd say radiation was pretty successful on the front end. Yes, it does. They do say it can fatigue you, but I don't see it. I don't believe it stopped us at any point.
It wasn't chemo fatigue.
No. Again, just gave myself grace when I needed to. But the thing they don't tell you about radiation, well, no, they do tell you, but you don't understand it till you're experiencing it. The radiation causes scar tissue to build on the radiated part of your body. And it can have effects, 5-10 years?
Right.
I mean, 5 years, I think, after you've been radiated. And so initially I was feeling fine, doing fine. But then I noticed a lot of tightness, and that is part of, the implant. The radiation can harden the material that's in the implant. Now, Dr. Fant says that she believes that skin or that coating that he wrapped, he art classed around the implant, she believes that it's good at protecting the implants. Like she's seen pretty good outcomes of it, like protecting the implant. But my whole left side of my body is tight. So I got to see, Carta set me up with their lymphedema clinic. Not that I had signs of lymphedema, but I wasn't sure. I wanted them just to check me out because they offered it. So I saw kind of their lymphedema specialist. I did different, arm positions, stretching. He measured me. I came out, passed with, flying colors. Everything looked great. That was probably in November of 24, November, December. And he kind of dismissed me, essentially, said, "You're doing great." Well, it wasn't too long ago. Was it just this,
last month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I'm thinking when
tightness?
I started, was it like January, February? I don't know. I was in the shower and I was like, I'm having trouble
move your arm as well.
I'm having trouble washing my back. And I was like, my arm, I'm like really having to think hard to move my arm back to wash my back. And Carti this, Carti that. Carti offers massage therapy. So I'd actually been seeing their massage therapist. And she was just she was working on my back mainly, my shoulder. And I mentioned to her that I was having this trouble, and she said, what about physical therapy?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to put a note, send a note over to the physical therapist that we have here at Carti? And I said, sure, why not? So I have started, I'm doing physical therapy to help with the tightness.
Quite often.
I'm going right now. We're hitting it hard, and we're going twice a week. But just reactivating my muscle. Things were sliced and diced on both sides. The tightness is on the left side because of the radiation, but we're doing things on both sides, keeping it even. But I do want to back up because the end of the year rolled around before now, and I finished my last immunotherapy treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to ring 2 bells when I finished radiation. When I finished radiation, I rang the radiation bell. I'm ringing all the bells. And so we did that in October.
Yes.
I think I rang that bell in October. And then I finished my final infusion December
30th.
30th.
Because we were scared it's going to go into 25.
Right. But I was like, we're finishing this mess before the end of the year. So I rang my infusion bell, my final treatment bell in December. Yes.
What a 12 months. What a 12 months. Just to back up to something you had said about before I even go there, for one, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, just a beyond powerful testament of just faith and family and resilience. And I know there's a lot more there, and I'm going to ask another question here in a minute to kind of close out the show. Before we do that, Alex, did you talk to Dr. AI about the substance abuse thing?
I did.
What was it?
So in 2023, over 28 million U.S. adults, nearly 11% had alcohol use disorder.
Okay.
Wow.
Just pause there. Yeah, I mean,
I believe it.
I believe it too, and I wanted to because this episode in particular is to show the dynamic of your relationship, the dynamic of family, your parents, you as parents, your girls, your brother. Over 12 months, your friends. I mean, just the amount of people that you've had in your corner, I firmly believe is a major component with the how, along with your faith.
Absolutely.
But flip that a little bit and just know that there's someone right now receiving treatment that is coping and or their spouse is coping. 11%, 28. Do you say 28 million? 28 million with alcohol, and alcohol is in every show you see. Every song you listen to in a lot of ways, unless you listen to Christian music. And you made a decision to say, I'm not drinking. Of course, you never were a big drinker, which, and this is where I'm going with that. From the time in December of 23 to the December of 24, you had to transform into someone that you've never been before. In order to do things you've never done before, you have to become somebody you've never been before. Of course, you've not walked down this path.
Sure.
And so my question to you is, who have you became through this process? How has it changed you prior to the diagnosis, then post-diagnosis, going through everything? What is new about you?
A few things. One is I want the best quality of life. Like, I realize life is precious, so the life that I have, I want it to be of good quality, whether that's the food that we're eating or the exercise that I'm doing or the interactions that we're having with people. I want them to all be good, worthwhile things. So I think it makes you realize to not trash up your life, clean up your life.
It's a great way to say it, not trash up your life.
I don't know.
I like that.
And so that is something. I've also realized I can do hard things. I mean, I can. I made it. I did it. because we would look at each other. Oh, Emily's so strong, oh, wow, she's amazing. Well, yeah, if I'm not strong, if I'm not amazing, then I am dead. And I don't want to be dead, not yet. This is not my time. And so I can do hard things. It was something I realized. So those are kind of where I'm
powerful.
at, because I want you to
So
know,
powerful.
because this is important too. The people that you know of that are going through cancer treatment, I did that year, I rang that bell, but I'm not finished.
That's right.
So I'm doing the chemotherapy, or not, I'm doing the physical therapy. I'm doing the physical therapy because I've got this thing on the side of my body that can be with me for probably forever. Because my cancer was hormone positive, I have to get rid of all the hormones out of my body. So I am 41 years old and I am menopausal by sciences, by medicines. They have made me menopausal. So I went through something that, most women don't go through for another 10 or 15 years. I get to experience it right now
That's more recent. I mean, so yeah, you've gone through all this, and then it was like,
and then
all
they
right,
start
now
giving
we're
me
going
the
to
shots.
make you
Yes. Well, the chemo put me into menopause, and they want me to stay in menopause.
So to summarize that, you can't rest on a past victory, even though you've walked through this path.
No, because it comes with its own challenges.
You have new goals, another mission, another goal. You have the great thing is you've got breath in your body, breath in your lungs, your heart's beating. You got your beautiful daughters. You got your husband right here, and you have the will to fight.
Sure.
And you have a new look on life. It's really, you're motivated by your mortality is what I grabbed from that. And I just wish more people would be grounded in that mindset. I mean, I really, really do. You inspire me. You inspire me. This story has inspired me to be a better husband, to be a better father, to also take a look at my life, not trash it up. I like that. I do. And then how has it changed you? How has this process changed you?
It's changed me a lot. I mean, I am one thing that I used to say is like, oh, I've got to go do this. I got to go do this. And now it's like, no, I get to do this. I get to go to the school and eat lunch with my girls. I get to do this with Emily. There's a lot of things I get to do that I don't say like, oh, I have to do that. So that was a big mind shift. And then just to kind of piggyback off, just go back a little bit is, like the no drinking thing. One of the big things from that is, typically you use that like any other man that might be going through this with their wife, stop drinking, because it's going to force you to address this situation, because a lot of times you use the alcohol to just numb, or any other substance. If you're using anything else, like stop, because you're going to have to think through it and not sit there and, hey, I'm just going to numb this and time will pass. The next day will happen. Like, no, it'll be a Friday night and you're drinking a seltzer water. And it's like, no, we got to talk about this versus I'm going to have 3 or 4 bourbons and just not talk. So that is a little bit of advice I would have.
I love it, man. I love it. Okay. So we're going to end the show with you speaking to this camera right here.
Okay.
And, resilience is born in the quiet, heroic moments. And I want you to tell your daughters, starting with you, just how much you mean to them. Because the quiet, heroic moments that they didn't get to see or will never see, or make you too great. I want to start with you and we'll finish with her. But yeah, that's your camera.
Well, Pedersen, Evelyn Ann, I just want you to know how strong and how much grit and how much love your mom has. She is an amazing person, went through an amazing journey. It was very tough, and just want you to understand how much
Let it go, man.
You know, she wanted y'all to have your memories. Even when she was going through so much, she definitely put you all and me first.
That was great.
Good job, Raydodd.
Thanks for the validation.
All right, Emily.
Okay. Let's see.
Take us home.
I can't look at him. Patterson, Rain, Evelyn, Ann. Let's see. Mommy and Daddy love you so much. We had to experience something that I think no family wants to experience, but we did it. We did it together. You two were my North Stars. You know, I could look to you two if I was feeling sad. But y'all were my why. You were my reason of why I didn't want to leave this earth. Not yet. So thank you for being you too. Two beautiful, amazing, so smart girls that I love so much. I can't wait to watch y'all grow and change and become the intelligent, strong women that I know you are going to be someday. The end.
The end. Well, I think that's the best way to wrap up the show. I want to finish how I started and express gratitude to the both of you. Raydodd, thank you for entertaining this idea. And then Emily, thank you for saying yes. Your story needs to be told, but more importantly, needs to be preserved for the future, because it's full of just love and pain and resilience built through adversity. So thank you.
Thank you, Cole.
Thank you.
Thanks for this opportunity.
Absolutely.